Was that the moonwalk?
Sure was.
And that actually looked pretty good. Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Steven.
Hey, we're covering Autohotkey today. I don't know, should we just jump in?
Let's jump
that's pretty
into
much it. We're covering Autohotkey.
Okay.
So first of all, this cannot be said enough, guys. If you can, find the silent parameters. That is the best practice. I mean, is there anything to even add at that point?
You just want to find silent parameters if you can. And we're going to start off this video with talking about the ways that you find silent parameters. We've covered this in the past, but we're just going to go over it again as a refresher.
So here we go, the Zen of finding silent parameters. So let's say you are installing an EXE like web removal tool.
We have the WebEx removal tool. We're going to see if we can figure out what the silent parameters are. So maybe the first step is we want to Google.
Google
see
is
if we
your
can
friend. Yeah,
figure
Google
out.
through that.
So I'm going to look up WebEx removal tool silent.
Wow, it's like you did that
like
yesterday. It was already typed
there.
in. Hey, all right.
Now, most of the time, if there are silent parameters, you'll be able to easily find documentation for it.
Generally, your vendor's going to put those out, and again, it's going to differ depending on the vendor what they may be. So
if we look up Firefox silent install, first result, we have information about the command line arguments to silently install it. We can do ms for install /s for uninstall.
So basically, we just popped over to show you an example of actually finding them.
Yeah, this is an ideal scenario.
Where you will find them. WebEx.
Let's move back to WebEx. There's some forums, people trying to figure out how to do it. Wasn't able to figure out a way. So people don't really know how to install it silently. There's no documentation or anything.
So the other way you can do that is you can go to the command line and look for the
usage statement.
Usage statement, yeah.
Center this.
And Brig was so kind to teach us a little trick yesterday.
So we're going to drag this executable into the command line. Gives us the path. And then we're just going to add a / at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Just launches
kicked it off.
Just
so
kicks it off.
Obviously there's no parameters that go with this at this point.
Sometimes if it did have silent parameters or if it did have a usage statement, it would pop up and tell you.
Usage statement, yeah.
Yeah. So that's no good.
And then you had some kind of super Zen secret, something I've never even heard of.
So there's a tool that you can use that can detect how the program was packaged. I think it left it in downloads.
A little bit of secret sauce here.
Secret sauce. Let's extract it.
Where can we find this?
So
what is it called?
It's called the Ultimate Silent Switch Finder. Let's launch it up.
Super secret.
Oh, Universal.
Universal Silent.
Universal Silent Switch Finder.
Also ultimate.
Yeah, it's still ultimate.
It's ultimately awesome. All right.
We can link it afterwards, but basically what this program does is we're going to select our executable.
We'll put that in the bonus content.
Yeah. Select the executable. It'll try to detect how it's packaged, which silent parameters, and but in this case, doesn't find anything.
So at this point, we've pretty much exhausted. Google Foo didn't do it. We can get a usage statement and our super secret switch finder that I've never seen before.
Can't find it either.
Okay.
So at this point, we might kind of be moving on to our last resort, which is Autohotkey.
Again, guys, last resort. I'm going to say that through this, okay? Make sure you try and find your silent parameters. What do you got, Brig?
There's one other possible thing, and that is trying to extract the executable.
Right.
See if there's like an MSI or other executables inside.
Let's do it. That's a great idea.
So we're going to go back to our repository, to WebEx removal tool. We're going to see if there's something inside. Open up the archive with 7-zip.
So in this case, you'd be looking for like an MSI or, I guess it would be an MSI at this point.
Probably. There might be an executable maybe, but we're not really seeing anything useful. There's nothing packaged in here. So that doesn't work either in this case.
So, Brig, have we officially resolved all our options at this point?
That is pretty much all of the options have been explored, yes.
2 thumbs up from Brig.
Yes, 2
we can
thumbs up.
move on. Okay.
All right. So
thanks, man.
What we're going to do is we're going to write an Autohotkey script that's going to launch the program and then interact with it, like mimicking clicks and whatever else you need to do to install this manually. Just going to script it.
Should we do it? Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so you can go to, where's the Autohotkey? Just look up Autohotkey.
I think it's just autohotkey.com.
Okay.
Autohotkey.com. Main page, download right here and install it.
Now, when you run that installer, change everything. I'm just kidding. Take the defaults, guys. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Installs it. And it'll make it so you can actually right-click and create a new script, right?
Yep.
Okay, so.
Now that it's installed, we can just right-click, new, and we can create this Autohotkey script here.
Now, I started playing with this the other day, because a little research before we do these things. I got to say, man, the syntax is a little bit weird, man. It
is
reminded me a
weird.
lot of like a CSV kind of a.
Yeah.
But
I really like Autohotkey. I think it's pretty cool. It's really easy, but
It's
the syntax
amazing.
is weird.
Okay.
No doubt about that. And that's kind of one of the biggest complaints. But the good thing about Autohotkey is that it has awesome documentation. So they have great tutorials. They have video guides.
Well, you sound like a commercial for Autohotkey.
I just really like it.
Okay.
They've done a really good job, like an excellent job with their documentation and everything like that, of just being able to just start off immediately and like, oh yeah, this is how you do it.
Okay, let me ask you this though. I'm like a visual learner, man. That's why we do a lot of videos here. I mean, do they have? These
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've got like a YouTube series that really is. It's very because I'm a visual learner too.
Okay.
So it's just can follow along. Everything is very simple from the installation of the program all the way up through like creating like scripts to do all kinds of things. Yeah.
All right, now
it's
we
good
all
stuff.
sound like a commercial.
I know.
For Autohotkey.
It's good stuff.
I just wanted to point out that Autohotkey comes with documentation now that it's installed.
Okay.
And it has just a reference to everything you need. It has a really good search. So if we need to remember how to do a click a mouse button or a mouse click, it'll show you the function and all the parameters. It'll explain everything. It's a really good tool.
Okay, so let's do it.
Got the background. I created my my script, and let's start editing.
Okay, so we're gonna do this kind of like the cooking channel. We're gonna start, then we're gonna
I'm
spin
going to show you
around,
the first few things.
and we'll show you the finished product
And
because
boom,
it will
it's
take
done.
a long time. All right, so first thing,
The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to launch the executable. So let's make sure I get the file name exact.
so obviously you got to type this correctly.
Yeah, that's
Now,
important.
do you want to keep this script in the same place as the executable?
Yeah, we're just going to have the executable run in the same folder. So
All
that's
right,
why
just keeps it simple.
can't paste
All right.
this.
Can't paste.
Didn't grab the file name.
Control C.
Yeah, well, I'm using Dvorak, so
Oh, that's right. I am not
Okay.
touching the keyboard today. Okay.
yeah, we don't need to do the full path because it's just going to assume it's in the same folder
Okay.
when we do the run. And then let's make sure that worked. Launch as
So
administrator.
again, it's probably a good idea to test this along
Each
the way.
step, make sure that you don't miss anything.
And of course, there we go.
So we launched up. So Autohotkey comes with a cool program called Windows Spy. It's just in the program files directory of Autohotkey. And we're going to launch it up. And Windows Spy will tell you lots of information about the different windows and controls that you are dealing with. So if we mouse over this window, and then we look over on the Windows Spy, it's going to tell us the title of the window. It's going to give us class information. And then if we also mouse over the buttons, it's going to tell us the control under the mouse position. So we have a class name for the button 1, and the text is yes.
Okay, so you notice right here you got the mouse position right here also, right? So is it a good idea? I mean, I'm just thinking if somebody moves that window there, that uninstall window, and I don't, is there a way to anchor that so it's better than just clicking in the middle of the
'Cause
screen somewhere? I mean,
as much as possible, we're going to avoid clicking by coordinates. That's a recipe for disaster. We could do coordinates relative to the window. So if we look here, there's different coordinates. There's screen coordinates, window coordinates. If we do need to click on coordinates, we'll use the window coordinates. So that way, if it moves, it's still relative to
the window. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But what we're going to do is we're going to click on the control, and we're going to reference it by the class name, button 1.
Oh, okay. So we're actually just going to tell it click on that button specifically.
Yeah.
So no matter where that window is, that button's what's being referenced.
Exactly.
Okay.
The window can even be minimized. It'll still click on the control. So we're doing a control click. The first parameter is the name of the window. So I'm going to hold Shift. We're going to copy this.
Is it case sensitive?
I don't think so.
Don't
Pretty
think
sure
so?
it's not.
Okay. Hopefully it's not.
I'm having a hard time copying.
It's that crazy keyboard. You
I know,
loaded.
it is.
So he loaded Dvorak. I'm in here typing. I'm like, what in the? Hey, we got something wrong. And he's just sitting there laughing at me. But all right.
All right.
So
we're
the
just
name of the
gonna type
window.
it. Uninstall WebEx software. And then the
Do
next.
you have to put quotes around that?
No, that's another weird thing about Autohotkey.
Okay.
It's just going to assume it's a string.
Okay, but the designator is that comma.
Is the comma,
Okay,
exactly.
Hence the CSV thing. I was
Right,
bringing up the other
exactly.
day. Okay.
The next parameter, we can do text from the window. So if we look here at the bottom, it has visible text. And it's just showing the buttons. So we're just going to say that it's, yes, is some of the text on the window.
Okay.
And I forgot one step. Before that, we need to wait for the window to open. We can't just
Oh.
start clicking.
That's a good point.
So we're going to do
We're going to look at something you previously did. Cheat.
win wait.
Win wait.
And it's the same thing.
And we're looking for the window and the text in that
text of the
window.
window, or the window title, and then text in the window.
Okay. So as soon as it sees the window title and the text, yes, then it'll go to the control.
It'll click on the control.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what we want to do. Let's run this, make sure that it's working. Run as administrator. Didn't work. Let's make sure that it already exited.
Let's take a look
Let's
at
take a look.
The one that does work.
Here's the problem. I didn't tell it what to click on. I just said to control click, and then I did the window. So the first parameter is actually the name of the button, which I
okay.
believe was, we can do it by the
Keep closing
text. So let's do yes.
Where can you find that button using the Windows button?
So let's do this.
We'd
again.
run this. We'd go look.
So I did talk about it. I just forgot to put
So
it
it's
in.
button one.
We have
Class
button one is the class name or the text. You can do either one.
Okay.
So we'll just do the text. Let's do this again. Saved. Run as administrator. Boom.
Oh, okay, so-
waited for the
okay.
window. It saw the button, clicked yes, moved on to the next one.
Okay, and again, we're going to repeat, wash, lather, repeat,
Yeah.
wash, lather, rinse, till we end up with everything we need.
Yeah, you got to do that for each window, each control, click. Exactly.
So we're going to jump from that to the finished product just
Yep.
because it would take
Takes some time.
a little bit of time.
Here's the finished product.
Okay, so the difference is in this now, okay? What are the changes you did here to make this nice and clean?
So one change I did is every single time we're waiting for a window or clicking on a control, we're referencing the title. So I just made that into a variable at the top. The title is uninstall WebEx software.
Okay.
So we run it, wait for the window, and then we click on button one. In this case, I used the class name.
What's right here? You've got minimize the window. Oh, boy. All right, I'm not touching your computer anymore, man.
Oh,
All right.
there we go.
No, it's right, that part right there, the win minimize.
Right here, win
That
minimize. So I commented that out, but what we want to do is we want to keep this from interrupting your users as much as possible. So we can deploy, when we deploy it, it'll launch minimized, and then every time a new window pops up, it'll minimize it again, just to kind of keep out of the way of the user.
guy. So they're not clicking on it, doing
Yeah.
things for you.
And the cool thing is with using control clicks where we're referencing the controls, it doesn't matter if the window's open, doesn't matter where it is, well, it has to be open. It doesn't matter if it's up, it doesn't matter if it's minimized.
As long as it's available.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have a question or anything we want to do? All right.
Good morning. I have begun using AppDeploy Repackager to create MSIs for the difficult programs that don't have any silent options. I don't particularly care for this approach. How can I use Autohotkey as an alternative to creating these MSI packages? Thanks, guys. Zachary M.
Hey,
Cool.
Zach.
So that's what the whole thing is about today.
I was going to say, man, stay tuned,
Yeah,
pay attention.
it's happening.
Replay this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, again, this is basically what we're doing to make sure that you don't have to repackage these MSIs.
Right. Yeah, and we're not like repackaging anything. We're not creating an MSI. We're making a script that's going to interact with the executable.
Excellent.
So,
Is there
yeah.
another question we want to take, or should we move on? Hang on a sec.
Okay, let's keep moving.
All right.
So,
So-
let me walk through, explain what the rest of the
Okay.
script does. So we have a couple windows. It waits for the window. And it
Okay,
clicks.
the weights are important, okay? Because
Yes.
it does take time for the windows to pop up. Otherwise, it's just going to start
Yeah.
rolling through real fast.
Yeah.
It's a quick program.
And sometimes it's a challenge because the executable won't have unique windows. Like sometimes it'll have the same title, and you click next and nothing changes.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you have to put in a sleep step just to give the computer
What does a sleep step look like?
Well, I have one right here.
Oh, wow, okay. Wow, check
Yeah.
that out.
Sleep, and then it's in milliseconds, so 1 second in this case.
So, okay.
So let's walk this through. We
All right.
wait for this one, and then we click on uninstall. And then at that point, the program, this is what I'm talking about. Nothing changes. The window stays there. There's no new title or anything. So what we have to do is
Just basically the progress bar.
Yeah, just progress bar.
By the way, if you tell your end users if they grab that progress bar with their mouse and grab it, it goes faster.
Or you click really fast on it.
There you go. I love messing with end users. Yeah, Brig, I just see the big smileys over there.
I actually did that before.
Have you?
I mean, not drag. I mean, like I've actually told people to do that. I haven't been the one that's actually like clicking or dragging.
Well, of course, yeah. You
Yeah.
tell
Yeah,
people
but
to do this.
yeah, and then to have them like, seriously, really, that works? I'm like, yeah. Oh, it's the energy from your hands.
Is that what you tell them?
Oh yeah, it's the energy from your hands.
I love it.
Nice.
All right, sorry.
Okay, no, that's good.
Squirrel thought there.
Yeah. What we're doing, so it's clicks on install with the control click. And then what we're going to do is there's a finished button. And it's disabled while the progress bar is moving. And then as soon as it finishes, it becomes enabled, and then we want to click on it.
Oh, okay, so that's the enabled right here.
Yep, so this loop is going to wait, and then we're going to get the control get. So we're basically getting information about the control. Is finished as a variable, which will become true once, it'll detect if it's true or not. It's going to detect if it's enabled or not. And then we have the class of the button, and then the title of the window.
Hey, I have a quick question for you, Stephen.
Yeah.
After that enabled in that string there on line 27, you've got 2 commas. Why do you have 2 commas there?
So we go back to the weird syntax of Autohotkey. All parameters are positional. And so if we need to do like a parameter, like we don't need this parameter, I don't even remember what it is. But we have to do another comma, and then the button 2 is the next
Basically,
parameter.
it's an optional parameter. We're just skipping past it,
Yeah.
but
So
it is positional.
So it's just like a CSV.
It's
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely some similarity.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What if there are parameters after the end? Do I have to have commas for stuff after the fact? So
Yeah, in one of my other scripts that are on the bonus content, I have to put in a parameter like in the 6th position or something. So there's like 4 commas and then the parameter after
Okay,
that.
but what if I don't need anything at the end after title? And
Then you don't have to put any more commas.
more commas? Okay,
Yeah.
only if
if
I've
you
got
actually need to put something
something.
in there.
Okay, good to
Yeah.
know. Good to know. I just want to reiterate this, guys. This is a last resort. Okay, I just throwing that out there again. It works great. I think it's amazing. It's a very
It's cool.
elegant way to deal with things that you have no other way to deal with. But
If you
again,
can find the silent parameter.
find the silent parameter.
But the problem
go
is-
rewind this webcast.
Yeah.
Back to that tool. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the problem is sometimes you have to deploy, like, maybe it's an in-house built program or something that's just really uncommon. There just tends to be these, like, occasions where you don't have silent parameters. So,
And I've actually seen numerous, but dozens, probably, yes, a lot of tickets where they're using some kind of legacy software or something that was written by a little mom and pop, in upstate New York for their education program, something, and silent parameters were just never an option. And IT and Autohotkey were just 2 of the ultimately that was the last resort.
Yeah.
But I don't. By saying it's the last resort, I don't want to diminish by how cool these programs are for
think Autohotkey
not
is
only
really
just this, but all kinds of different and sometimes nefarious things that can be done with Autohotkey.
yeah. Yeah.
Do we have another question?
Hello, friends. In a work environment, do you see Autohotkey being useful outside of pranks and PDQ deployments? Sincerely, Patrick H.
Patrick, Autohotkey is always good for pranks. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just be straight up with
That
that.
might be the main thing I use it for. But to answer the question, absolutely. Autohotkey is awesome. And if we look at the name, Autohotkey, it was originally designed for hotkeys. And so in here at PDQ, I have a few hotkeys to make, just to type out text that I frequently type.
Our highlighter is Autohotkey.
So basically, you got a
That's
hotkey
right.
for every
You touch
email
the
I ever
Windows
send
key.
you. It's like, screw you, Lex.
Yeah,
Quit
exactly.
emailing me, Lex.
We have a hotkey to use the highlighter. So if we press the Windows button and then use the touchscreen, it uses the highlighter, and then we hit Windows space to disable it or to remove the highlight. You can do all kinds of stuff. Any repetitive task that you do can probably be automated with Autohotkey.
Hey, check it out, JJ, and
There
I
we go.
changed the color.
Very nice.
Nice.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's do another question.
Hey guys, what happens in Autohotkey if an error occurs and the script cannot complete? Thanks, Matt V.
Hey, Matt.
That is a good question.
That is a great question. That's one of the caveats of using
Yeah.
Autohotkey.
Because it is difficult. So when we have our finished product, it's going to run through the whole executable, click all the next and whatever. If something messes up, it's really difficult for Autohotkey to know.
It's difficult for Autohotkey to know, and then if you build a package,
And
the
you
return
deploy it.
code, it's either going to, did it run or didn't it run? If it finished, it ran. Even if it didn't do the right things, but the script finished, you're going to get the code that it finished. And deploy looks for those return codes to let you know whether or not it ran or not. So you're kind of, this is one of those like, phew, I'm launching it, I hope it did what I expected.
Yeah. So a few things you want to do is you want to do a lot of testing. So I've done a lot of testing with this script that we're writing here, just running it in different environments, deploying it, and watching it run, just to make sure it's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
One thing that can happen is if it misses a click, it'll just wait for the window.
Oh, timeout.
So you'll see timeouts sometimes if when you're deploying it because it didn't work and it's waiting for a window that never happened. The other thing, of course, is to set up like an inventory scan.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest way to determine whether it's worked or not.
Yeah, so if you're installing a program, scan after the deployment, see if it shows up. You can make a collection to see if it's there or not, and redeploy and check, run your script to see if.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we finished the script. Is there anything, other hot items we want to point out in
Let's
this
see,
script?
we covered it. So we did our loop.
Loop's good.
Loop
Make
is
sure it's finished, yeah.
So that's true, and then it'll get the next control and click finished. So let's run it.
Let's
see
run
it
it
in
and watch
action.
it happen. Okay, so we're going to test the script.
When you're testing, you almost always want to run as administrator. Sometimes when it needs to click in Windows, it will fail, especially if like the installer's running as administrator.
So again, we have taken and commented out all the windows and minimize the windows so you guys can see this
We're
happen.
going to see this in action. So click yes really
You're
quick.
going to grab the progress bar and move it along?
Oh, let's click.
Make it go faster?
Actually, something went wrong.
Something went awry. It didn't
Let's
go. This
start
should be
over.
fairly quick.
Okay.
Dun, dun,
Running.
dun, dun.
Finished comes up. Boom. Easy.
Yeah, probably shouldn't be clicking on that.
Yeah. So you can do some testing because sometimes, especially if you're working with controls, your user can keep working while it's running. So if we go back in here, and so we're going to change this so that it launches minimized. And then we're going to have it minimize the window once it pops up. And where's my other one? Oh, that should be it.
So now when
So
you run
now everything should be minimized.
you should watch. It's going to be quick. It's going to just minimize the windows.
I think I
You can
lost.
just find. Use a find. Look for minimize.
See, I used to have one here.
Oh.
It disappeared. So
Disappeared?
let's just copy and paste this. Keep forgetting.
It's that crazy keyboard you loaded.
Sure
in.
is.
Why in the world did you load that?
Because it's faster.
Oh, I can see.
Hey, it's faster for typing.
Not only does he use a Dvorak keyboard, he uses the Dvorak mouse method as well.
Yeah, I guess so.
All
Okay,
right.
let's run this again.
Run this minimize. Boom. You see that
Minimize.
minimize? All right.
We're going to do you see it down
Now,
here?
right behind Steven, if you make us disappear, right? There it is.
Boom.
And it's
It's
gone.
gone.
Did you see that thing disappear?
So you see it move out of the taskbar, you see the hotkey script disappear. So that way when you deploy to your user, it's out of their way.
They can't be clicking on it like we were doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Awesome. So now what?
So let's put this in a package.
So you can compile it now.
Yep. So we finished our script, tested it, it's all working. We're just going to right click and do compile. And it'll generate the executable. And this executable can run anywhere. It doesn't have any dependencies, so we can send it out to all the end users. They don't need Autohotkey installed or anything.
So you can build a package at this point.
And look at that, we already have one.
But we renamed our executable.
It's all right, we can fix that. So a few caveats to start with.
Oh, and these are important.
These are
very
important. This has to be run in an interactive session because we are actually clicking on controls. There's a visual GUI element that has to be worked with.
Okay, so it can be interactive in the background, but does somebody need to be logged in?
Yes.
So there's
Someone has to
two
be logged in.
caveats there.
Right.
So-
It can be locked or they can be disconnected, but there has to be someone logged in so that this can run. So we have this condition, logged on state, only run if a user is logged in.
Okay.
And then we also have to make sure that it's run as an interactive user. So either deploy user interactive or a logged on user.
But again, depending on how you get your machines, set up, you need to have administrator rights so you can actually do the uninstall in this case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably want to favor deploy user interactive just so that you have the same credentials as your deploy user.
Absolutely.
So we got those set. And then all I have is a simple install step here. And the install file is going to be our Autohotkey script that we just compiled. It's executable here.
There we go. Now, do we need to include anything else? Does Autohotkey bundle the executable with it?
Well, so we remember in the script it will launch it, but it has to be in the same directory.
Okay.
So we need to include additional files here with the WebEx removal tool.
So we grab that.
So that's in additional files. Our package is ready to go. So this is going to deploy to your target machine. Both files will be in the same directory. It'll launch the Autohotkey script. All the windows will start popping up. It'll interact and should be
Magic
golden.
will happen.
It'll be magic.
Launch it. I want to see it, dude.
Okay, let's
I
run
want to
this.
see it. Okay, I'm taking bets.
So we tested with Pickle Rick before. Let's redeploy it to this computer.
So, and again, here's the thing about this, right? Whether it runs or whether it doesn't run, we're not going to know because this is like a launch. I want to call it like a spray and pray. I'm sending it. I'm hoping it works.
Yeah.
Just because it's not going to return the error codes and stuff.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Brig?
And while true, like running any bash script or command script or anything like that, inventory, of course, comes to the rescue with that scan after deployment.
Absolutely.
So send this out, spray and pray to all of the machines, and then, of course, have a scan after deployment, and then just scan for that particular application, do the application scan, have a report already built to see whether or not the WebEx is still installed. I mean, and that'll tell you immediately whether or not what succeeded and what failed, if you don't get an error in the command.
Yeah.
That's good. I have one other question for you, Ben. How many monsters did you drink? Because that was really fast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Terribly sorry. I've only had, I'm just finishing my second one.
Finishing your second? Dude.
Only two.
Only
two.
two in the last
20
30 minutes?
After 2 cups of coffee
It's only
this morning.
380
Everything is
milligrams of
fine. We're all okay.
You were pulling
Yeah.
the Chris there. It's like,
Yes. Well, I wanted to get it in because, like, cause
I'll
this
tell
is
you what,
good stuff.
what Brig is saying is exactly how you're going to have to chase this one down.
Yeah, and I want to reemphasize, like, this is a last resort, but it's a really cool solution to like a not ideal installer. that
Yeah,
you
I
have
mean,
to deal
you
with.
kind of stuck at a point and it's like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
let's Autohotkey that thing, yeah.
So we can see that it ran successful.
Did it really?
Well, here's the thing though. If it didn't run successful, it probably would have gotten stuck at one of the window waits. So we know it at least got most
Through
of
the
the way
script.
through.
Okay.
Yeah. We know that the script ran and it exited. So there's a good chance it worked, and then check with inventory to find out for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do we have a question?
Hey guys, does the client computer have to be signed in, and will Autohotkey work when the computer is at the login lock screen? Thanks in advance, Dylan K.
So kind of what we said before, someone does have to be logged in.
Even if it's locked, the nice thing is
yeah.
you're running as the deploy interactive. So you're using the credentials that you would normally use. And so it's all right if the guy's got the machine locked. You're going to run in the background.
Yeah.
But somebody has to be logged in.
Yep. Logged in, lock screen's fine.
Absolutely. So that's pretty much it. Do we have any additional information? You sent some scripts to bonus content.
Yep, I have 4 scripts. I just went through some of the tickets we've had in the last 6 months or so about people trying to figure out silent parameters that we couldn't find. So we have links to those 4 programs, and then I also wrote scripts for each of those, so you can look through those. And
So Steve is the Zen guru of Autohotkey. Yeah. Do we have any more questions? Or are we good?
We do.
Oh, let's take another
Steven
question.
will like this one.
All right.
Hey hotkey hotties, can I use Autohotkey to reprogram a user's keyboard remotely for giggles? Thank you very much, Mary M.
well, I can't go into too much detail because I do have another prank in the works that will be used internally.
Wow.
But absolutely.
Everyone gets Autohotkey
Remember
keyboards.
what happened the last time that you did that little motion thing with the mouse? What happened to your machine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I wrote a script to move the mouse around, and I sent that to a couple coworkers, and it sort of spawned a war. But I've teamed up with
Picked
Josh.
the wrong people to
Teamed
deploy
up?
it.
I've
Wow.
teamed up. We've combined forces, and
So
we
we
are
got the Axis and the Allies, the whole bit here.
and now we're targeting other people. So we got some fun
I
stuff.
was going to say, as long as you're the only sysadmin there, game on. No one can touch you. But here, that kind of war
Oh, this is going to go horribly wrong. I'm
This is
waiting
so
for
dangerous. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like Switzerland, guys. I ain't messing with nobody.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Stay neutral, Lex.
That's
What
right.
I
Stay
do.
neutral.
But to answer your question more directly, just look up the documentation about hotkeys and create hotkeys for like individual letters, and that's probably what you'd want to do to remap a keyboard.
Nice. Cool. Any more?
Someone's getting coal, Max. Someone's getting coal, Max.
Are there any other questions, JJ? Oh, good. All right.
Sweet.
So,
Is it possible to get Autohotkey to bypass accepting certificate messages when installing VSTO packages for Office products? Thanks, guys. Keith H.
A little complex one, but
Yes. I don't know if that would be the best way to approach that problem. You could do it, but it means that you'd have to deploy your entire Office package as interactive, deploy user interactive. You'd have to have someone signed in. But yeah, you could write a script that's waiting for that window to pop open.
you could, probably not best practice.
Yeah.
Best practice would be, I would say, get those certificates loaded pre. Brig, any thoughts in regards to certificate loading?
Oh, no, I'm with Steven on this one. Like that would require a lot of work.
Yeah.
there are better ways to deploy.
There are better ways
Probably
than
don't want
using
to.
Autohotkey.
Yeah.
You know, I would definitely research that first. So, yeah. But you could.
Microsoft
you
has
probably
a deploy
shouldn't.
utility, right?
Just-
We've done a webcast on
Yeah,
Deploy
yeah.
Office, and that includes the certificates, or not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Check out that other webcast, and that might give you a better answer than
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
if everything looks like, or what is it?
Yeah,
Hammer
what is
or
it?
nail. I can't. Think
All you
of
got's a
it.
hammer, everything looks like a
Everything
nail.
looks like a
Yeah,
nail. That's the one.
Yeah, find the better ways to do it. Again, Autohotkey is a very elegant way to deal with things as a last resort.
Yeah.
So,
Sound parameters are best.
yeah. One more?
Cool.
All right, last question of the day. I hope this makes sense. Do you know a way to use Autohotkey with mouse clicks that would work on different workstation desktops that have different screen resolutions? Thank you, Chris C.
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. So if we go back and look at this, the script for the WebEx removal tool, because we're using these control clicks, it doesn't matter where your buttons are. It doesn't matter what
The
DPI,
resolution
doesn't
is-
matter.
It's looking for that control specifically.
Yeah, we don't even reference coordinates. All we're referencing is the button and the title and then text on the window. So hopefully you won't even have to worry about coordinates or scaling or anything. It'll just
Absolutely.
work.
So, Autohotkey,
Yep.
it's a last resort, an elegant way to deal with
It's
your
cool.
last resorts.
Yeah.
Find those silent parameters if you can't.
Write a script and deploy it that way.
Steve's the guru, man. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch y'all later.
See ya.
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody, on this Thursday morning. Congratulations to our swag winners. We got Zachary Mayo with the coffee mug, Dylan K with the pint, and Matt V with the whiskey glass. So, guys, go ahead and send us your info at webcast@pdq.com, and we will get those things sent out to you. In the meantime, don't hesitate to hit up our support forums if you have any additional questions. And always be sure to check out our YouTube channel. We have a lot of good stuff on there. And that's going to be everything today. We will see you next week.